It is November in the world of football, and you all know what that means. Welcome to silly season. This is where we get insane rumours from all over the world about various players that are coming, going, potentially getting bids, could go on a free contract, all sorts of insane bits of transfer news. And today, Pascal Struijk was at the middle of one. I'm going to go through what the story is, what the truth of the matter is, and ultimately what I think is going to happen going forwards, because it feels like there's only one way that this can realistically go, and it's not the way that lots of places are reporting. So, before we get into it, what's the story? We need to know what is being talked about before we properly delve into it. And the general gist is Pascal Struijk has been the subject of a £15 million bid. I was going to say victim. In this context, I think victim might actually work. The bid has come from Club Brugge in Belgium. I think it's Brugge or Bruges. Either way. I think we call it Bruges and they call it Brugge. Either way. And they are a fairly reputable club in Belgium. However, they are not having the best of times at the moment. They're currently down in the Europa Conference League, which isn't too bad. They're competing in Europe. They're getting good football against decent sides. Interesting fixtures that you might want to be a part of as a young footballer. However, when it comes to domestic football, they are underperforming in the Belgian Pro League. They're currently 7th place in the division, and whilst they are traditionally the best team from their city, Cercle Brugge are ahead of them in the division right now. I think in 6th place, 2 points clear, having a quick look. Yeah. So that's the story. The story is £15 million bid for Pascal Struijk, and a lot of people are saying that we might be willing to accept it for some reason. And then I just thought to myself, that seems a little bit daft, so I'll take a little bit of a dive into it. What is the truth of the matter? So, to start with, the truth of the matter is that it's comfortably below what his value is. And that is just like pure value, not even in terms of sentimentality or anything like that. I'm just going to have a quick search on Transfermarkt, actually, because I've just thought this is probably the best way to find his value. But yeah, Transfermarkt has him down as an €18 million player, roughly 15 million quid, yeah. But when you consider the fact that we are currently in a promotion battle, he is currently our first choice centre back alongside Joe Rodon. In terms of permanent centre backs, he is the first choice. Of all the centre backs that we have permanently within the squad, Pascal Struijk is the one that is a guarantee to play. If we didn't have Joe Rodon, we'd probably go out and buy someone else to play alongside Pascal Struijk, or we'd be stuck with Charlie Cresswell, in which case Struijk would be the better of the option. Add on to that we're in a promotion battle, he's played every single minute, and he's occasionally the club captain. It would be absolutely insane for the club to sell. Not only is it bad to sell him because of who he is, his role in the team, his importance to all of our results so far, but because of the time of year. You don't sell players in January, especially for below their value. The value of a footballer is hugely increased in January because there's fewer players on the market, fewer players willing to move around, because summer is when people are like, right, complete fresh start, let's go somewhere else. Whereas January, you're halfway through a season. The only players getting bought are emergency stopgap players. So, for example, we might look for a centre forward. If Piru or Bamford gets injured, we're probably going to be looking at a number 10 as well. Maybe a right back in the event that Byram or Ayling get hurt. And the idea that the club would sell a key centre back, which is a position that we're not the deepest in anyway, but the fact that the club would sell a player for under their value in January, a time where if we then went out to look for a replacement centre back, we'd have to pay more than £15 million. I think the right sort of price for Pascal Struijk at the moment in this market this January would be something like 40 million quid, because he's impossible to replace at the moment due to his position in the club. Add on to that for the fact that, in spite of what the club say, with the club saying, no, you're probably going to stay, and the fans saying, no, we want you to stay, it's better for his career as well. He's currently developing really well in the Championship. Admittedly, last season he had an absolute stinker in the Premier League, but that happens sometimes. If you're playing in the top tier of football, you're not always going to have the best results. You're going to struggle from time to time. Whereas the Championship, weirdly, it feels like he's found his feet a little bit more. He's growing into it and he's becoming a better footballer for it. And the counter to that isn't go to Belgium, play in the Europa Conference League, lose a bunch of football matches, and then come 7th or 8th and not get European football and be stuck at the Championship level. Because that's roughly what the Belgian First Division is. Although there are some top teams in there, like Union Saint-Gilloise, there's Anderlecht, for example, there's Brugge, normally. The rest of that division is very championshipy. It's sort of Scottish Premier League, where they've got a few not players, teams at the top that have European money, and it doesn't flow down to the rest of the division, which means that the rest of the level of talent in the league is not good. And in addition to that, you've got the surgery question. Pascal Struijk needed a surgery on a hernia because it was getting too hurtful. He wasn't able to play football to his top level. But if you're going to have a move, and if you've planned to move, you don't say, okay, so I'm going to have this surgery in a way that doesn't interrupt football for my current club. You're going to say after the international break, oh no, it's hurting more. I need this hernia surgery now, which would put him out for something like 6 weeks, right up to the beginning of the January transfer window when he'd find a move. If it was something that was planned out, if it was something that he wanted to happen, he'd make sure that he was either playing all the way through December to put himself in the shop market, or he'd be playing none of December, so he was definitely fit on the 1st of January. It wouldn't be a matter of, I'm going to have this surgery before an international break, go all the way through it, play a few games afterwards, and then the window's open, and then I'm going to push for a move. That would be bonkers. And I like to assume that Pascal Struijk is quite clever, and his agent is quite clever, and although his agent being clever doesn't quite suit us very well. And that isn't what the move is. In addition to that, he also signed a new contract fairly recently. It was maybe 18 months ago or something like that, that takes him all the way to 2027. So we don't even need to sell because he's got a short contract on him. In addition to that, there'll be even more implications for January. Although it would add a little bit to our transfer budget, you've got to assume that budgets are already set. The 49ers have said, if we're in this position, then we'll put this much money into it to chase promotion, because it's an investment firm. They are there to make money in the long run, and selling Pascal Struijk is nothing compared to Premier League revenue. It would be a horrible idea. So ultimately, in the long run, I think that Pascal Struijk will stay in January. There is a question of, if we don't go up, what happens? If we don't go up, I can see that there is an argument that maybe he tries to find a move either to lower tier Premier League or a European club in Portugal or Belgium or France, because I think he is that good. He is someone that can play European Conference League, Europa League football fairly consistently, but he doesn't need to at the moment. At the moment, him being in Leeds makes more sense for him. If we don't get to the Premier League, then I completely understand his point of view. I completely understand, let's find a move, let's play at the level that we can. But when he's getting all the minutes he needs at Leeds United, when he's been trusted with a captaincy, when he's at a club that he's been at since he was a fair bit younger, the first club that properly trusted him because Ajax fans didn't like him and thought he was really, really bad, moving would be insane. And that, in my opinion, is the truth about the Pascal Struijk move. I want to know what you think, though, because like all transfer business, everyone has an opinion, and I want to know yours. Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video and subscribe if you're not yet. Also, maybe become a channel member if you want. It's a few quid a month, but it's hugely appreciated. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time.